everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? I wanted to wear my, I'm not gonna keep this on the whole evening, but I wanted to wear my turkey headband because it's the day before Thanksgiving. I actually bought this last year. I had a tradition at my last job of wearing funky headbands whenever there was a holiday. So this is what I picked for last year. Isn't he cute? Tom Turkey. So I'll be sure to put him on again tomorrow. Well, welcome. So if you are tuning in, you notice there's a few things that are new. One, I'm using my computer camera, which I don't like as much, but it's the easiest way to use StreamYard. The computer camera is not as crisp. So I still got to work that whole thing out. Maybe I'll get a separate webcam or something. And I'm also using StreamYard, so that's pretty cool. So you can see my name here at the bottom, and then you can see my logo up at the top. So that's pretty neat. So today, as all of you guys probably know who are tuning in, I have a special guest for you. Kesha Wattree will be joining us in a few minutes here. She is with Juggle Learning, and I'm super excited to have her on the show. If you missed my show on Sunday, I had my sister on, and she was the first entrepreneur I actually brought on to share what products she has that you can purchase for holidays, because I've really been trying to support small businesses this holiday season because I feel like they've been hit the hardest with everything that happened with COVID and the economy. So I really think we should try to support our small businesses, especially our Black-owned businesses, to buy gifts for the holiday season. Okay, so first, let's talk about Thanksgiving. What are y'all doing? I will bring Kesha on in a minute. I know some of y'all are just impatiently waiting to bring her on, and she is ready to go, and she will be on in a couple of minutes. But let's real quick. I just want to know what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving time. So for me, my family's in Pittsburgh and I live here in Houston, and I refuse to travel. I don't do any traveling during this pandemic. I hate traveling, period, but I'm definitely not traveling during the pandemic. So tomorrow we all picked a time to get onto Zoom so we can all have our meals ready. So we're going to be on Zoom tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. my time. And, have our meals, and we're going to get on Zoom and then do it like a virtual Thanksgiving. And I think, that's what we got to do these times. It's different. It's not the same. I know a lot of people are still willing to take the risk. I'm just not willing to take that risk with my parents or anybody I love. So we're definitely going to not be together this year for Thanksgiving. And it's only 1 year. There's plenty of years left. I'd rather have them here for many, 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 many more years than risk anyone's life for one day in 2020. So that's where I'm at. What are you guys doing? Tell me in the comments what you guys are doing. All right. And now, I do have one more thing. Look what I got today. Special delivery. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did that little wine class before, that virtual wine class, and we all won a bottle of wine for guessing the type of wine at the end. And then, so the nice gentleman, Joshua, he just brought it by today. Talk about door delivery for wine. So I am ready to go for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So this is going to be chilled tonight. Okay, let's get to what you guys are all waiting to see. Let us bring on Kesha. So bear with me again. This is my first time doing this. So let me go ahead and add her to the stream. Hey, Kesha, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Welcome to Shasie's World Live. So happy to have you.
Glad to be here. Good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, you look great. I love the background of your Juggle Learning. So yeah, let's just get started. Why don't you go ahead and tell my audience a little bit about you? I know a lot of people know who you are who are watching, but a lot of people don't. So let's tell us about you, your background a little bit, and how you came up with your company.
Okay, well, I am Kesha. I am a native Houstonian. I born and raised here. I created Juggle Learning. I'm a former educator. Well, I won't say former, because once you're an educator, you're always an educator. I'm a former classroom teacher. Still an educator, still in education, just not in the classroom. I haven't been in the classroom for a few years, but I created Juggle Learning because I wanted to bring educational learning products to families, to children, specifically children who learn best by doing, by touching, by manipulating things. Because especially right now with the lots of children working from home, a lot of things are online. Technology is everywhere. Kids are using iPads, iPhones, computers, laptops, whatever, and that's perfectly fine. But I wanted to bring it back old school, kind of, but put a spin on it and make it exciting and engaging, but still hands-on. So even if a household doesn't have high-speed internet or the best, newest computer, they can have everything they need for learning will be in these boxes that I've created for them. So I felt that there was a need for it, especially my debut products. These are going to be, these are literacy products, reading products for foundational reading skills. I feel that there's a need, there's a deficit. And so I decided to do something about it.
Awesome. Well, I think that is super, super great. Again, like I said, I want to support small businesses. I love the fact that you are bringing tangible things back to the world, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first got the iPhone for my BlackBerry, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand on having buttons to touch. I'm a visual, probably like a hands-on learner as well. I've always been that way. Like I need pictures, I need colors, I need something tangible to like hold and remember. So I think there's so many kids that learn that way. And I think the problem with education for a while has been that everybody thinks that there's only one way somebody learns. If they don't learn that way, then they get told they have a learning disability. And I'm like, that's not true. Just because they learn differently and do things differently doesn't mean they don't know how to learn. So I think that's awesome. So what made you start this actual process? Like how long has this been in the making, and how did you come up with the name Juggle Learning?
Okay, so this is something I've been doing over I was a teacher for 10 years, in a classroom for 10 years, been in education for 15 total years. And these are products I actually use in the classroom when I was a teacher, use with my students, so I know that they are effective and they work. But the name Juggle Learning, I actually had no intention of creating a business. I was like, I don't want that work. That's a lot of work. No, I don't need it. I'm not doing it. But I created a lot of these things for free and just would give them out to parents, to kids that I would tutor, to schools, to teacher friends, principals. But I realized I can't keep doing that for free. I can't keep, that it's a lot. It became a lot. So I was like, it'd be great if I could put this in front of a larger audience and have more kids have access to this. So back up to the name Juggle Learning. I was online one night. I'm a night owl, and I'm always up. A lot of people can attest to that. I get my best ideas at like 3:00 in the morning, unfortunately, and have to be up at 7. But I was up one night and I was scrolling, and I saw there were parents. I'm in homeschool groups, teacher groups, all these other education groups, because I give them a lot of resources. But I saw that this group of parents had created these learning boards. And they were struggling with what to put on it, what sight words were, asking about different things to put on those boards. And so I ended up pitching in, and they were like, why don't you should make these. And I'm like, nope, too much work, not doing it. So I started to think about it more and more. And I was like, I'm doing a lot of this work anyway. I should do something with this. More people might be able to use this. More kids might be able to use this. So that's when I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And I couldn't think of a name. I was like, I do Post-it notes. I love Post-it notes. I've been jotting down notes, and I wanted it to somehow pay homage to my father. My dad passed away 4 years ago, so he was huge on education. He was also my push. When I was younger, he would always say, you're doing just enough to get by. That's not good enough. And so he would always push me to do more. He was like, you want to do more than just good enough. Keep going, keep pushing. And he would always say that. So I knew that I wanted it to be something that incorporated his beliefs and his values. So his nickname was actually Jug. And so that's how Juggle Learning formed. It formed because his name is Jug. I didn't want it to be just Jug Learning. And I started to play around with it. And I was like, okay, juggle. And it just stuck and it fit, so that every time I see the Juggle Learning, I think of him, and it makes me want to push more, push harder.
Oh, that is so sweet. Wow. I like a little, I'm trying to, okay. That is such a sweet homage that you did for your father. And just think about, like, his name is going to be in all these homes. I'm already speaking it across America, across the world. Juggle Learning is going to be everywhere. And that's just so great. I love the graphics. I love the imagery of it. Like just looking at it makes me want to learn this way. I'm like, we have stuff for adults. I have some people and the adults that still need to learn something. So I just love everything about it. I love the juggler. With everything. A little bit about that, like the logo design. I know you worked with a couple other small business owners and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool to come up with the design itself.
Yeah, yeah, it takes a village really, because I mean, because my mind is everywhere, and then it takes special people to kind of listen to the everything that I'm saying and piece all those weird things that I'm saying, piece it together and make it come to life. But I knew that I wanted it to have the juggling in it somewhere. The juggling aspect also ties into parents. Parents are always juggling things. Teachers are always juggling things, and juggling home, juggling work, juggling all those things. And so instead of having to juggle that education, let us do that for you. So we will juggle that, and we will handle that portion of it for you. So yeah, I had an idea. I drew and sketched it myself initially, but I am not an artist, so it was awful. And I was in one of the groups one day, and Pato Tunes, I saw something that he had drawn and I loved it. So I was like, hey, can you make this come to life? And that's exactly what he did. He created that logo for me, and here we are.
I love it. It looks really great. And again, like I love to play on the words, and especially this year more than ever, people are juggling stuff. I mean, I don't have any kids again, and I'm not working right now, but I can't even imagine like trying to work,
Right.
homeschool your kids, and then when your kids have questions, you're like trying to be on a conference call, and your kids like learning, and if the teacher's unable to help because she's helping somebody else, like, well, all this, I don't know how people do it. So I think that's great. And also, I just love educators. Like, I don't think one that they get paid enough or the attention that they deserve for what they do. I mean, they literally affect your life for the rest of your life. And I have teachers that I still remember to this day how they taught me and what I learned. And like, I just really appreciate educators. I think this is great. So it can be used by parents and teachers, right? You can
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. You want to give us an example of how one of the products works? You have one that you want to show us?
I can. So I started small because I didn't realize how lengthy this process would be, because I wanted it down to the finest detail, down to the font, down to the colors, down to the graphics. I wanted everything to be right. So it took a lot of time, took a lot of effort, but we're here now. So that's all that matters. But so I have, these are actually dry erase cards. And let me see if you can see that. And there are 3 different sets. So one of the foundational reading skills involves segmenting and blending. So once kids have learned their alphabets, they are familiar with alphabet sounds, they know how to make rhyming words, then they can progress to identifying the sounds that they hear in CVC words. And CVC words are just 3-letter words: consonant, vowel, consonant words. And so the goal is to give them a word like this word. The first set is just the beginning sounds. The second set is the middle sounds and vowel sounds. And then there's a third set. Those are just the ending sounds. So starting with the beginning sound, these are double-sided, dry erase. And there are also some small vocabulary cards here. Because I was an elementary teacher, I was also an ESL, English as a Second Language teacher. So vocabulary was huge, especially for our English as a Second Language students who come from backgrounds where they weren't in school at an early age. So they come into kindergarten, first grade at a deficit. Their vocabulary is lacking. So these cards include the vocabulary to help them become familiar with the words before they move on to this. So for instance, just the beginning sound, if we practice this word and we let our kids know that this is the word, it's upside down. That's the word net. So then we would break that word down and have the child to break it down into individual sounds, like the word net, net. And there are different ways we can do that. I'm going to come out with some videos because I realized I couldn't put it all in the instructions. There are so many different ways to teach kids, especially your hands-on kids, your kinesthetic kids. I'm going to sidebar. I'm going to go back because there's one thing that I want to talk about. One thing that bothered me a lot when I was in the classroom was that kids are active. Kids like to touch, do, play. They learn by doing. Most kids learn by doing. And what bothered me sometimes is that a lot of kids would get labeled ADHD or behavior issues or not being able to learn, not being able to focus, simply because they needed something to engage them. They needed something that was hands-on. They needed just more than just one way to learn something. So that was another reason why I created these activities and these cards, because they need those different outlets. Now, coming back to the beginning sounds. So the word net, we want this child to be able to break those sounds up. Even if they don't recognize what those sounds are first, we want them to be able to hear the different sounds. So the one thing we can do is have them using their body to break that word up. So sometimes I use my arm with kids and they'll just go net, net. And then eventually they'll be able to segment those words by net and then blend it net. Also, sometimes they might do net, so that they can identify those different sounds and so that they know that each letter, each symbol represents a sound. Because as adults, we are fluent readers. We already know that each one of this, we know this by sight. So we look at it and we know what it is. But for a kid, they need to understand that alphabet, that symbol, those N's, those alphabets represent a sound. So that's what this set does. When they get to the card, they have to identify just that beginning sound. So if they're doing the et, just have them stop. So then they have these little tokens that are included with each set with alphabets, and they just place it. I can't do this on the screen. And then they place it where it goes.
Yeah, that's right. You got it right.
Yep. Awesome. Got it. And it also comes with a dry erase marker, so they're able to, there's a little eraser on the top, and then they are able to write in the word. If they make a mistake, there's a little eraser here, they can erase it. All of this is included. So they get a lot of practice with that. They have multiple cards in the set. There are 26 exercises. There's also an open-ended card. So kid can take a vocabulary card or one of the cards and it's pointing to mud. And so they could do it again. D. And they identify all three sounds once they get to that point on the open-ended card.
I just love it so
they can give a point. I can't do this from the screen. But you know what I meant.
Yeah, we know. The back and mirror thing with the camera is funny. That is just so cool, Kesha. Like, I honestly, again, I told you, I'm like, so it's about phonetics. And I think a lot of people, if English is your first language, you're like, net, like, you can't say that, but you don't understand. Like, English to me, I've heard is like the hardest language to learn, first and foremost. So one, if it's not your first language, then you're already behind. And then two, you have another language completely already in your head. Like, I don't know if you know Spanish and French, and then now you're trying to understand English, and English isn't easy because it's not the same as the other, like the Romance languages, where it's like one thing can mean multiple things. Like for instance, our language really kind of makes me mad. Like words like colonel, I can't stand stuff like that. I'm just like, why? Colonel, so I can understand why it's hard to learn. But I love the colors, I love the visuals, and I just think this is so great. So how do the products work as far as like where can people go to shop Juggle Learning products? Are they set up as packages and the different age groups?
Yeah, so I struggled with the age group thing only because I've taught a range of grade levels, and so I struggled. But I was advised to put so there's a suggested age range for these, and the suggested age range is 4 to 7. I struggled with that because it is not uncommon to have a 10, 11-year-old who didn't get these foundational skills, who could definitely use this, because the further up and the further our kids get in school, the harder it is for them to get those foundational skills. Because once you get to 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, those teachers aren't there to teach basic phonics. Those phonics are taught earlier on. So then after a while, the child gets further and further behind. And then what happens if a child gets far behind? They hate school, they lose interest, they start to act out, or they completely shut down. So my goal is to help eliminate a lot of that. I know I can't solve every issue, but these cards are to help with that foundational skill. It's something they can carry with them, something they can do at home. This is something that there are instructions inside, so parents can do this. I'll have videos created pretty shortly on that as well. But in order to find these, we can go to my website. It's www.jugglelearning.com. And I like how that scrolls. That's so cute. Okay.
I got you there.
And if they use your code Shasie, SHASIE, you get 25% off until Friday or until Saturday. So yes,
Okay,
if they put it in SHASIE in the during checkout for 25% off, and that is the highest discount that we offer. Just because I'm excited for you to bring us on it, for bringing me on to talk about the products here.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, as soon as I saw you were coming out, like, I love how you launched this. Let's talk about how you launched it. You had all of us ladies, and I like, Keisha's birthday was, obviously it happens every year, but for this, her birthday was a countdown to what she was doing. And so we were all sitting there trying to guess what it was. And she gave us like a little preview to something. I still couldn't get it. You know how I am with like puzzles. I don't know if you remember the Rubik's Cube drama, but I was just like, what is it? What is it? Yeah. And I like, that is such a great marketing tool too. Well, not only does it engage people, but it gets people guessing, and then you get so excited when it comes out. So that was just a really great idea in and of itself. And so I just, as soon as I saw it, I sent to my sister, I'm like, look, Stacey, because my niece is 8. And like you said, I know you're doing like 4 to 7, but it depends on like what your child is and where they are. Like that, like you said, there's so many kids that are graduating with low literacy rates and just being forgotten in the system, and they're trying to go to college and they don't even know how to read at like a first grade reading level, and it's sad that they get lost. And I also think it's easier for kids to learn when they're younger. Like that's why they try to tell you to learn as many languages as you can as a kid. So the older you're getting, the harder it is to go back and learn these basics. So I think everything that you're doing is super, super great. So as far as for if they use the code Shasie, they'll get a 25% off. And so through Black Friday.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Yes. And so tell us a little bit more about you and Houston and like you being here. Kind of like I'm also doing like shop local. So like you're I don't know if you're native here to Houston, as we're about to find out, but your company is based here in Houston. So tell us a little bit about like Houston and what you like here and things like that.
Yeah, so some people might be shocked by this, but I am a native Houstonian. I am born and raised in Houston. A lot of people think that I am from Louisiana. No, I'm a first generation Texan. So my roots are deeply rooted in Louisiana. So and I went to school in Louisiana, so that's why a lot of and I'm a Saints fan.
That's what I'm saying. But you're a Saints fan? Okay.
I'm a Saints fan. I love crawfish. So
I knew it was going to come up at some point, crawfish.
Well, I was going to put that in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I knew.
But I live here, born and raised here. I lived in New Orleans for college, and I like to explore my city. There are so many hidden gems in Houston. There's so many things to do here. So many different things that pop up. Well, before pandemic, but before COVID, there are a lot of different things that you can do here. So I love the city. There are many times I contemplated moving somewhere else or going somewhere else, trying to live somewhere else, but I always come back here. I come back home because there's so many things to do here. But what was your question? I'm all left field.
No, that's fine. This is all casual and informal. I just wanted to know what you liked about Houston because I'm not from here originally. I'm from Pittsburgh. I've been here about 10 years. I can tell you that I've been here like going on 11 years now, I think. And I'm still finding new stuff all the time. Not only am I still trying to just explore the stuff that was already here, but they're constantly adding new things. And I'm like, dang, I'm never going to get caught up living here in Houston. And I love supporting local businesses here. And I just love, especially supporting our community too, especially as a fellow African-American female. You're doing your thing. Like, this is just so exciting. I definitely want to bring you back on when I'm done with my holiday gift series, just to kind of talk more about the entrepreneurship process. Because I'm sure there's so many young women and men out there that are just dying or have an idea, or like what happened to you is, and this kind of happening to me, like with the decor and decorations. Like for years, I've been getting compliments on that, not to toot my own horn, and I've not done anything with it. And you've been getting so many compliments on, Kesha, why don't you do this? Why don't you give us this? And you took that feedback of like, I'm good at this. And people like my product. And so I can make a business out of that. And that's so inspiring to me.
But that's not really what happened. I did not. I have to give all credit to Miss Creative AF. She kind of pulled it out of me and said, okay, let's have this conversation. When are you going to do this? And she helped me through the process to get started, because I had been talking about it for a few months, but just like, yeah, maybe not. No, it's too much work. Nope, I'm not doing it. And had a conversation, scheduled a consultation with her, and I have not looked back yet. So I am appreciative to Miss Creative AF for bringing this out, because without her, I don't know if I would have started.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like friends and business partners, they can really help you too. It's kind of hard to do things by yourself and just get started. And so for those who don't know, Miss Creative AF is Michelle. She will be on the show too eventually. She's one of our good friends. And I just love the fact, I love seeing all my friends work together and just come up with an idea. So I love that she was able to help push you. She does a daily morning vibe and a daily 4 o'clock series, where she's pretty motivational. She asks questions because she's really thinking. She's really helped me through this current process I have now, like looking for my next career. So you kind of need a friend in your corner to help you going, whether it's friends or family or just someone to bounce ideas with. So I think that's great, because I went to that market last Thursday, and there was a lady that was selling her own homemade mix and margarita mix, and her best friend was there. And so I did the same thing. I asked her, how did you get into this? But she was like, well, my best friend kept saying, you need to sell this. This is so good. Yep. You need to sell this. And there they are at the pop-up selling, and her friend pushed her. So
yeah, we all need that push. Like, everybody has to have someone to just say, you know what, this is great. Just do it. What do you have to lose? Just do it.
Yeah. And I think it's better to try and fail. You failing.
Agreed.
Better to try and fail than to sit back and like, oh, I wonder if. I'd rather have and then gave it a shot, and if it's not worked, on to the next.
Exactly. Agreed.
Well, thank you so much, Kesha, for being on the show. Anything else you would like to tell my audience about you or Juggle Learning?
Well, I also have, besides the cards, I take suggestions from parents, teachers. That's how I create these products. That's another thing that kind of sets me apart from others in the space, is simply because I have my ear to the street. I'm in homeschool groups. I'm listening to friends, family members. And the biggest requests that I got to begin were for phonics. And I was actually shocked, because I thought it was going to be like long division or something. Then I'm like, you're on your own. But like, sorry. But it was phonics and sight words. So the first products are sight words, and then phonics, and then I have a sight words puzzle for first graders. So all the sight words that first graders are expected to know by the end of first grade, I've created a jigsaw puzzle with it, and there are flashcards that come with it. Just, again, another way to keep those kids engaged, those tactile learners, so they can do and touch and feel, and it helps them to learn. An engaged child is a learning child.
A couple more questions I was thinking about as you were discussing now, because the puzzles, that's definitely a great gift for kiddos. They're learning and they're getting to have a fun time. And the parents too, you're working on putting puzzles together. Do your products ship across the US right now, or are they just kind of?
They do.
Okay, so everybody watching, my friends and stuff in Pennsylvania, please go to jugglelearning.com, order some, especially here in Houston, support your fellow Houstonians. This is just super exciting.
There's also free shipping over $40. So you have a few options there. You can use the free shipping if your order is over $40. If you want to do the 25% off for watching the show, you can do that as well. So lots of different options. I tried my best to keep costs affordable, because I want everybody to be able to use these. I want the kids to have access that need them.
Well, I love it. And I know you've been doing some giveaways, and I know you've participated in a couple of pop shops around Houston. So just keep us updated. I think you have a pop shop coming up this week or next week.
Yeah, actually, thank you for reminding me. There is. I do. I'll be, for anybody that's local, I'll be at Pitch 25. I know it's a beer garden, but it's a family event. There are pictures with Santa. There's a brunch, and I have to check the time. I think it's 10 to 4. At Pitch 25, and it's in Edo. That's so hard for me to say. I'm a native Houstonian. We didn't have an Edo, but it's East Downtown now for whatever.
That's funny, because that's all I know. That's all I know it as.
I cringe when I say it. Like, what's Edo? Really?
And I get people, and they're like, why are you calling it that? I was like, that's what I was told when I moved here.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. But hey, I can't have conversations with people and they like, what are you talking about? Edo.
Yeah. I actually love Pitch 25. It's a really cute spot. Like, they have like for pitch, it's for soccer. So that's what they call it, soccer. So they have like a mock-up soccer field there. They give you like yellow cards.
Really nice.
While you're drinking. And it's pretty much indoor, outdoor. So it's a great spot to go.
This will be outside because, and masks are mandatory. It's a completely free event. So I'll send you the link too, so you can post that. You just have to RSVP.
Great. So this is awesome. So many ways to shop Juggle Learning here, especially if you're here local. So definitely stay tuned. And later this week, I will announce who my third guest is. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Okay. We will chat with you later.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, so I'm going to close up here. So that was wonderful. I'm super excited that we had Kesha on the show again. I just love featuring fellow entrepreneurs, especially women, especially African-American women who are doing it big. We just need so much more representation of that. And I can't wait to have Kesha back on the show too, to talk later about her hobby, like actually getting to this point. And then maybe I will also just bring her and the circle of people that helped her all together and onto a broadcast, so you can see how like all the companies work together to bring together her vision. And one final thing, you may notice I am back in my black frame glasses. Yes, because these ones, you can even see it without me putting on. The glare is just too much. And so I am working on a replacement pair. And it probably won't be from America's Best. So I'm going to try another company. But yeah, so back in the black frames for now. I'm not giving up on the clear. I love the clear. We need to wear something out these glares, because I want to do more lives. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, if you use code Shasie at jugglelearning.com through Black Friday, you will get a 25% off discount. You can choose that deal, or you can choose the free shipping over $40 deal. So please go support Juggle Learning. It's a great gift for your kids. If you know parents who are trying to homeschool, if you know teachers that are trying to teach their kids differently, you can gift it to parents and teachers and parents. You can gift it to yourself as a way to help your kiddos. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys, this is Shasie signing out, and our next episode will be Sunday at 5 p.m. Bye.